All right, Cody and Patrick, here we go. Are you ready? All right. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Save, save, save. Build a. Sound money, sound money. All right. It's Ugly Old Goat here, and this is a program we've been wanting to do for weeks now. It's members only. Guys, this is your chance. You have anything that you want to ask Cody and Bybet, they really want to work with us. They are a sponsor of the Bitcoin Standard Conference, and I'm really pleased. I started using them. Uh, I'm number one impressed because the number one feature I want is I want that ability to be a market maker and get paid a little bit for doing it. And they've incorporated that with their platform, and I've started using it, and I like it. So, uh, Cody, thanks for coming on. I'm just going to pass it on to you. I'm going to start with two questions. Just one problem, two things. I'm not real familiar with the platform yet. I'm very familiar with BitMEX. I know that the one thing that we're looking for is we trade equity. I teach equity trading rather than trading charts. And so we actually have a member, Victor Villacana, who built an equity app where we load up the CS. They can load up my CSV file and see all my trades and see how it affected my equity. And what we're trying to do, of course, is avoid those downturns in equity, which tend to just devastate most people. Once you learn to trade that way, it kind of changes your whole perspective of the market. And so the people that new members get that equity app with a membership, they can download their own trades in real time on BitMEX, or they can use the Goat Lady's trades. And we can probably load it up later and show it. I don't know if you've seen it, but I know that's one feature. It would be great if it would be right on the platform. Uh, and the other thing is, how do I find out? I've been long here through this dip, and I assume that I've been getting paid funding.
Funding
Where
piece.
do I find that?
Okay,
Is
so
there
let me.
yeah.
So first of all, thanks for
Can you put
having
the
me on
finger up?
this show.
Can you put the frame up so you can tell us?
Yeah,
Can they see
sure.
that? My
So
position?
you
Because
can share your screen of your Bybit trading area, and I can guide you all.
all right.
And if he needs to see it, 2 seconds, I need to share it over here as well. Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we sharing the screen now? Yeah. So, like, where do I find my uh,
Your
what?
funding history.
I mean, is there a CSV printer? I know how to
Yeah.
get it on, but like I'm getting paid or getting taxed every 8 hours. I assume that's how
Yeah.
you're doing it.
So correct. So if you go to the top right corner of your screen, there's where your username is shown. Yep.
Okay.
Right?
Click on orders.
Orders. Okay.
Yep. And then now you go to trade history on the left, the trade history.
Oh, okay. There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Very
There's
similar
And
then.
okay. Here's your fund.
right here you can filter by funding, filter by trades,
Oh,
and here you can see whether you are
wow.
receiving funding or
All right.
paying
Paying
funding.
funding or
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, that's great. I see that now. It's just so it just yeah, it's very intuitive, but I'm kind of old and don't get things right away. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm
actually right now, if you want to export this feature, we are working on this um, to export the feature. If not, if you are really in need to export the documents, you can talk to our customer support, which is 24/7. They will answer you within 1 minute, and they can get these documents ready for you. So we are building the export feature,
okay.
but if you really need it, you talk to our customer
Yeah,
support.
I did it once. They wanted my history, so I did it, and then I figured that's coming. So I don't. Yeah, and I did get it right away. I emailed and that you guys sent
Yeah.
it. So, no, your back end seems to be really good. You want the business, and you're offering a good service. Uh, so I know the equity app. That's one of my things. The thing that I'm looking forward to too is. Uh, in my view, the future of Bitcoin is we use it as collateral to trade other assets. And so
Yeah.
I know that you have, some of the shit coins on there. Can you outline any plans that you have for offering other assets such as gold and silver or stocks or bonds or things like that? Is that on your plans in the future, or are you working on that? What's the outlook on that
Yeah.
in the coming year or two?
So for now, like for gold and futures, it's a commonly requested feature by our audience, our users as well, because some of them come from the traditional equity side and commodities. So for gold, we are working to launch this. We are within this year. But for stocks, because there's still some regulation issues, especially revolving around the US side, and we need to make sure that it is really very safe and we are okay with the legal issues before we can consider to list
Right.
stocks.
Well, I
But
appreciate that. I
gold
mean,
is
you
okay.
guys, it's hard. I mean, I was a registered Series 7 securities dealer and commodities broker. I was a commodities broker before there was a CFTC, so I've been around a while.
Yeah.
And I know it's just a pain in the ass and to meet all those regulations. And then, it's just the barriers. We're such an arrogant nation to think that, we can because you do business with a U.S. citizen, we now have jurisdiction over your business, which is just ridiculous. But that's the fact. I mean, I guess we have the drones, so if they can't extradite you, they can blow you up. So.
And that is why we always take a very cautious approach to all the legal regulatory stuff. And like on day one, we don't allow US citizens or
Right.
US IP address to sign up on our platform. And really, this help us to make sure that we are on good ties with them or something like
Yeah.
that. And they don't really enforce any much harsh things on us.
Yeah.
And we try to comply with them as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's what I explain to people. If a platform is telling you we don't take U.S. citizens, and you're trying to apply anyway, and you happen to get through their system, I mean that really should be you're the one that's committing the fraud on the company, and should be the one prosecuted. But that's not the way it works. So, unfortunately, they use enforcement to collect taxes just like they do with employers and Social Security. So we got a long way to go to correct society. Again, about all this crap can be defined in the three greatest swindles of all time, and of course that number one swindle is inflation. The number two is entitlements like Social Security, and the number three swindle of all time is regulation. And these guys are performing a great platform, a great service. Again, I'm a U.S. citizen, so I can't trade, but the goat lady is not, so she can trade anywhere she wants. And I don't live in the United States. I'm a Mexican resident, so that doesn't allow me to do certain things that I can't do if I was a U.S. resident. So, but yeah, so that's it. Like I say, right now, you guys do allow people to sign up just with an email address, and you're not KYCing. Do you see that
No,
changing? Is it kind of on the horizon that you're going to have to do more KYC than you're doing now?
yeah, so as we grow, given the more government pressure or eyes on us, we may need to introduce KYC, but we will provide our users with some additional rewards to KYC. But it is not totally compulsory. So it will be it will be like if you do level 1 or level 2, level 3 KYC, tiered KYC.
Okay.
So based on our initial plan is that if you do not do KYC, you are still able to trade, but you have a withdrawal limit of 2 BTC a day. And if you do higher level of KYC, you will have higher withdrawal limits. Yeah.
But
This is
even
just to
without even
prevent,
without KYC, you can withdraw between 50 and 100 grand a day at
like,
the current price.
like right now, if you have no like right now, you can withdraw 500 BTC a day without any issues.
Right. And you
Yeah.
limit that. I mean, like I've got right now, I'm in Mexico, and I think I'm limited to 2 million, uh, 2 million pesos a month, which is about 100 grand, which normally is enough to run my business. But
Yeah, actually, so based on our statistics, this 2 BTC actually covers 98% of most of the
right.
users. needs.
And I
So
didn't
to
have.
them,
I
it's
can
not
go to
an impact.
upgrade, but I don't even want to upgrade because I'm happy with what I've got, and so
Yeah.
and they're happy with me, and so you guys, you don't have to be the biggest guy, the biggest guy in the cemetery. You know, a lot of, and I'm sure you can verify this, Cody, that a lot of large traders become small traders. And it happens all the time. People think that whales are infallible, and they're not. And but there's some of us small traders that become large traders, and the wise large trader chooses to become a small trader again, and you just go ahead and you do it all over again. So hopefully, I've got that message through a lot of these. This is a pretty amazing group. So I hope some of you guys get on or start asking questions because I know you had some. I think I covered most of them. Bitcoin Motors, you popped in.
Got a question from the YouTube.
Okay. Oh, okay. What do you have here?
When Segwit.
Oh, when?
I'm still here.
Okay, when Segwit? That's our first question from
Oh,
Yosef.
nice. So, I mean, are you a huge time user of us, Bitcoin motorists? Like,
Okay. Did you hear the question?
Sorry. Say that again, Cody.
are you trading on us actively, and that's why you asked this question? Like, trying
No,
to-
it's not me. I didn't ask the question, but
This was from the YouTube
question.
comment.
This is from the YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh,
It's
chat.
not from me.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
want to know when you're gonna have Segwit on.
Yeah, this person must be a huge user of us to be able to know that we don't. So right now we do not support SegWit. So we will be adding that when we have our wallet 2. We call it wallet 2.0 means because right now all our funds are stored in cold multi-sig wallet, and we'll be changing we'll be shifting a portion of it to a hot wallet, especially when we launch our spot. And when we have our hot wallet, we will be able to support SegWit, Bitcoin SegWit. Yeah, so this will allow faster transactions, lower fees, and yeah, very useful for our users.
Well, I noticed you were noticeably absent from the Bitcoin Conference 2021, and
Yeah.
I assume that is because you don't want to be accused of soliciting any United States
Yeah.
citizens for business. You know what? I want to put that out there for our members because I was noticeably looking for them, and there's no reason to make the same mistakes that our good friend Arthur Hayes made, and I can really respect that. That's not true of Mexico. You can come here and you fly a lot. I hope you guys can make it because
We can.
I think you'll really enjoy it. You fly in here to Tijuana. Guys, we're going to be picking everybody up at the airport. Oh, I got a couple of announcements. From here on out, starting probably, for sure by Monday, I'm going to be doing a show every day, at least 5 days a week from now until the conference. We're going to have different speakers on every time. And I got a special guest that's taking over a new role. And I'm getting a new sidekick. I'm not getting rid of Stefan, but I've got one that's a whole lot prettier to look at, and that's going to be the goat lady. And the reason being is, you know what? She loves Mexico, and she loves her city, Ensenada, and she's really the hostess of this event. So she wants to get on. We've hired a new event director. It's a gal that we know personally. In fact, she's the daughter of of our friend who's going to actually running the adventure tour for us. She does the tours for the cruise lines that come into Ensenada. And incidentally, the cruise line came in here for the first time in a year on Saturday. So the cruise ships are back. We actually have next weekend, we're having the Baja 500, which will be a big event. Well, we're meeting with Christina, who's going to be the event coordinator, and she's a lovely woman, speaks perfect English and perfect Spanish, and she's going to run the logistics because we have to make sure we're there. She's going to tell you exactly where your pickup point is. If you're from the United States and you're coming to the conference and you don't want to drive down here, she'll give you the instructions on where to park, walk across the border. We will be there to pick you up and drive you right to the hotel. And if you have that ticket, you remember, particularly if you get the full package, you've got everything. You've got the Cunebre dinner. You've got, I think all the foods and breakfast, lunch, and dinner basically. All the transportation we're going to need to and from everything to the adventure tour. I think about the only thing I don't quite have yet is nailed down. We don't. I think we nailed down the venue for the Canterbury dinner tomorrow, and I think I need to nail down our entertainment for Saturday night at the Horsepower Ranch. But it's going to be just a really great event, and I've invited a lot of new people. There's still some outstanding invitations out there from some of the big players. We'll make room for them if they decide at the last minute to come. I've invited a lot of new guys. I believe in that. It's the way I support. I don't pay these guys. I just give them. It's kind of a party on me. I just pay all the speakers $500. Hey, can you come and speak? We're gonna have a good time. You get a full ticket, and I pay you $500 to do it. And that's my my give back to Bitcoin and the Bitcoin standard. So I'm really excited about it. The Goat Lady's really excited about it, and we're gonna do our best to make this the most memorable Bitcoin standard conference that's ever been. It'll be a lot of fun, be a lot very intense, and we might get wrecked, but we're not going to get ruined. So that's what we teach too. I teach it's okay to get wrecked in the markets. It's going to happen. You just want to manage those funds so you're never ruined. So,
I'm
all
really
right, Brian. He says,
join.
Well,
Bybit offer Quanto futures like BitMEX.
he
as
wants to
in
trade ETH. He says with what?
BTC.
With BTC. Okay, is that on the table? Are you going to be offering Quanto futures?
Because for
Like-
Quanto futures, we discussed internally for this, and we don't see much, like for now, we don't see much users demand unless they're very professional traders, right? Because most of our audience are more tailored to the retail space. We understand that is a huge demand from these professional traders who ultimately really want to earn more Bitcoins. Their aim is to earn more Bitcoins and want to
Yeah,
convert
I'm
all
not
their profit.
real excited about that either. I mean, because I get it, there is a demand out there, but to me, the future is going to be other assets. I might be wrong, but I see one of the big problems you're going to have, and I don't know the workings of your exchange, but I just know basically how exchanges work. If you are offering at futures, if whatever shitcoin you're trading in, you now have to inventory at least to some degree that coin. And so what Bybit and BitMEX are offering me is the way I can buy or sell these shitcoins without owning any of them. And but
Right.
that's an inherent risk. When the shitcoin markets collapse, you got to survive that. And some of these exchanges that are just so heavily leaned on shitcoins, they're going to have a rough time. Come when Bitcoin dominance rears its beautiful head again. So.
And there's a lot, actually, on the security side, there's a lot of risk by adding more, like, let's say we add supports for the various shitcoins. You need to know that what blockchain they are on, the security of the blockchain, and whether their codes are stable. So if, let's say, we support and users put their funds in, and if this shitcoin has some 51% attack or what, the users could potentially lose their funds. And that is why we do not want to list this kind of allowing users to add, like,
Yeah,
coins
and I don't
into our
think when this happens, that's going to be a black swan event. I think the exchanges, are fairly stable now, and I think they've addressed it. They had some interesting. I know Nick Carter and a couple other guys did it on proof of what is it? No, not proof of work. Proof of reserve.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you know what?
yeah.
That's kind of great, but I don't think it's that important. I don't think that's where the real risk is. I think the exchanges have pretty well licked that. If they do a lot of shitcoins, I'd be somewhat concerned.
Yeah.
I think that BitMEX has taken us to the next level because if the United States government could have shut them down, they would have. and they simply can't, and so that speaks a volume for me. And the other thing is. Uh, uh, the real risk is the jurisdictional risk. And to me, the United States has the largest jurisdictional risk. They've proven themselves to have a jurisdictional risk by the bailout, the COVID bailout. If they can put money into your account that easily, they can just as easily take it out. And once that's the other thing too. You publish your reserves, you're kind of a sitting target to the jurisdiction you're in. So, all of these ideas and all of these what we think are improvements are not necessarily improvements. I couldn't help but notice the oxymoron at the 2021 Bitcoin conference. Ron Paul was advocating we need to get rid of legal tender laws, and Jack Mahler said, "Well, we just got Bitcoin declared legal tender in San Salvador." Mm-hmm. So it can't be both ways, guys. So this is really some great stuff for heavy discussion. I have invited Jack Mahler. I probably should invite Ron Paul. I know Ron Paul personally. We sponsored him several times in the Midwest when he was running for president. So, but he's kind of up there in years too. But he might. I think it'd be just a great discussion, and I would sure like to include him. While he's still the young man that he is. So he's got to be up there, 80 or more. I mean, I hope I can.
He's looking good, though.
He's looking good, looking strong. I was really glad to see him out that. All right. Anything new, guys?
For Bybit, anything new or?
Nothing in the
I just remember.
Bitcoin Motors, what do you have? Do you have anything to ask or contribute here about Bybit Exchange?
Well, I'm not. I am a U.S. citizen, so I can't really use Bybit, and really don't. I know that there's a purpose for leveraged trading, but I really don't see how I could use it myself. So it's not really something I've really looked into much. So I don't really know much about it. I just know that it's there, and I know that some people use it. And but yeah, I don't really know much about it. I mostly just buy and hold, and I don't really get into the leverage trading much.
Right. And derivatives market, it's a specialty, and it has a different purpose. Mm. I know I've been in contact with Jan Pretzker from Swan. I'm trying to get, I'm going through their KYC, and I finally, because I'm in such a weird situation. I'm a U.S. citizen, but I'm a resident of Mexico, so I have to send them all my Mexican papers. And anyway, I can fit in that door. And so where you live does give you access to different things. Now, as a professional trader, and what I teach increasingly, is once you have your HODL, you need to learn to hedge your HODL. And that's what derivatives do, is they actually, and I'm sure if Cody doesn't know this, they're probably learning it, that the markets are really created for hedgers. It's not created for speculators. It's people that are trying to pass off their risk and not assume risk. And so in the one sense, it's really good that I like it when you say, well, I have a lot of retail trade, because that kind of tells me, well, most people on the platform don't know what they're doing. And so I like that aspect of it. And the idea that you have, I mean, these perpetual contracts were with the funding. I mean, I think Arthur Hayes was instrumental in developing that, and that really is a groundbreaking thing. 24-hour markets, another thing. We didn't have that before. I mean, if you can imagine Bitcoin only trading 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and not even that. On holidays, you're off too. And we're just so far more advanced now in the technology. I mean, this platform that you guys have developed is just incredible. It really is. And I take my hat off to all of the exchanges that have been able to, and TradingView. I mean, all the stuff that TradingView provides you know, in my day, we did all this by hand, and we'd spend hours a day just keeping up your charts. And this there for you now at the fingertips. Amazingly, it hasn't changed the statistics. 90% of the people still lose, but hopefully not in this group. I think in my group now, a lot of people, you know, have turned their trading around. Again, we emphasize not being right or wrong, but managing that equity. Okay, how about options? Are you planning any options on Bybit?
I think you already
Yeah,
spoke
but first,
a little bit about
let
it,
me
Okay.
answer
right?
Bitcoin motorists as well
Yeah.
regarding the leverage issues. So for I understand that you are a spot trader, mostly spot, and that is also majority people who are on spot, and that's why we see a lot of people in Coinbase, Kraken, or Gemini buying the spot and holding it. And for us, we are also going to launch our spot exchange, so people can also purchase Bitcoins on our platform. But when they move towards a more how to say, more seasoned trader, when they learn to know, because ultimately we invest in things to earn more money or to earn more Bitcoins or earn more USD value. So if they want to stick upon opportunity, so let's say today Elon Musk say that, oh, Tesla wants to purchase more Bitcoins. And this, you know, that is definitely going to bring Bitcoin up to a much higher price point. And if you are just using spot, you are not really able to capitalize your capital efficiently. And by using spot, maybe use like 2 to 3 times leverage, you can open a larger position size. And when Bitcoin goes up, you will be able to profit more, like twice the earnings or thrice the earnings. And we offer up to higher leverage, but then you also need to manage your risk properly. So actually, in our platform, we see people using about 5 to 20x leverage more commonly. Although we say that there's 100, we offer up to 100x, but really it's not really like nobody really uses it unless they are just only for a small portion of their funds. Let's say $100 and they do 100x, but more people just do within 5 to 20x, which is reasonable, and they are all able to like manage their risk properly with proper stop loss and take profit. Yeah. So
Did you notice, Cody? Did you notice any lots of liquidations in the last couple of weeks with the price action moving so quickly? Did a lot of your traders get liquidated,
yeah.
or most of them properly hedged and were able to manage their risk properly? Did you see anything, or can you even say what
Yeah,
you?
we can say so during the the May 19 or May 20 event where Bitcoin dropped so heavily, there was a lot of liquidations on that day. Many people liquidated, even those who are using 3 times leverage were liquidated, but that is considered a like really very rare event happening. That is why we on Bybit we always like try to educate our users to use take profit or stop loss. So as a trader, you know that whenever you enter, you need to know where your take profit is, when you're going to like take a profit, and where is your stop loss. Because once you hit that stop loss, you are sure that the Bitcoin
We accidentally streamed
does
on
not hit the resistance and
See that?
it will dip even more. So instead of just trying to hold on to your losses, we added a lot of feature to allow people to quickly add to do proper take profit stop loss, and this is very, very important.
Eddie.
And I can't stress how important it is to the fact that we are even considering to add this into the order placement to make
Eddie.
sure that our users input a take profit and stop loss, like always be reminded to do that, because ultimately if you put a stop loss, you will not get liquidated.
Were you did you use before you started Bybit, did you use any other leverage? Did you use BitMEX yourself and you didn't like it, and that's why you wanted to build something better? So is that why you started Bybit?
Correct.
Because you didn't want to,
So we started in 2018, and if I'm not too sure how early you are in the crypto space, could be much earlier, and some of the other audience are quite new. But during that 2017, 2018 era, we see that a lot of exchanges had issues with the servers overload. So when you try to place an order, your orders can't go through. And
even now, like with Coinbase still.
Now it is, now the problem is much better. In 2017, it's worse. it's way worse. And our CEO, I'm also from the Forex background, and our CEO from the Forex background, XN, you don't see this kind of issues coming out in Forex or stocks. There's no server overloads.
Wow.
And this is the problem that we want to address. We want people to be able to trade fairly, because sometimes who knows what the exchange is doing when they are server overloading. Could they be dumping their coins first and trading in front of the users?
Right.
So we do not want this kind of situation. We want to really create a very fair trading experience. And hence we built our own trading engine from scratch, able to handle up to 100,000 transactions per second, making sure there's no issues with our exchange at all times. So looking back, the past 2 weeks on May 20th, the huge dip, you can see on Twitter, many exchanges had downtime, had issues. But for Bybit, we stayed strong, no server overloads, and all orders are being processed perfectly, all smooth, and we get a lot of good like credits from the users saying that, oh, luckily, because of this dip, I'm still able to trade. And this is very important for traders. When they're putting real money into the platform, we do not want to be to have any issues during the most crucial point of opportunity or crucial point. And yeah, like Binance went down for a few minutes or 30 minutes or so. But for us, we are totally stable. And yeah, and because of this, we also started to see many traders switching to us because they just want their funds to be safe, especially during the huge opportunity time, especially when there's huge volatility. Yeah, we really place a lot of emphasis to ensure that our servers are stable.
Okay, we got a couple more questions down here. Eric Greco is asking, can you add pirate chain to Bybit? I don't know what that means, but can you add pirate chain to Bybit?
I think that's a troll question.
I think that's a troll.
Right.
Really, we're not supposed to have trolls. All right, we might have. Apparently,
Actually,
mistakenly put this
just
on.
one. One.
Pirate chain is actually a real thing.
I know.
The guys
at
Pirate Chain have actually emailed me. They emailed me because they want to speak at PorkFest.
Okay. Well, apparently we listed this publicly. We fixed it, but for a while we were a public stream. Maybe somebody stuck in.
YouTube's having some issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, we got another one. Danny Lynch, he loved the idea of a Ron Paul interview. Yeah, I have not extended an invitation